So I think there's some other things that I want to say, which is just after 8 hours, it's actually really strange how I didn't need to go to the toilet for the whole of that session. I was wondering if I was getting like diabetes. My uncle said that he's got diabetes, and because of that he can't not go to the toilet for like 2 hours. And I don't know, I was wondering if I had that, but I didn't go to the toilet between like 9:45 and like 8:15 in the evening, so that's quite a long time. But anyway, I was standing up the whole time except for like 10 minutes, I guess. When after when I finally got round to leaving the stage area, I couldn't walk. My back had, I don't know what had happened to my back, but it really really like was painful. I felt like a 70-year-old. But yes, why did I say that? I don't know why I started off that video with that. Wasn't what I was supposed to start off the video with talking about. But anyway, that just came out. I um, I made a sign, and I was kind of, I didn't know if I was actually going to hold it or not, but I kind of thought that I should. I would have held it if loads of people were having signs, but it wasn't really about that. No one on this team, they were just waving flags, and the flag I think was just to symbolise, Britain and Britain's first, and yeah, there was a lot of Christian movement as well, and therefore saying that Islam is an inversion of the truth probably wouldn't be understandable to them, because there are a lot of things that Christianity and Islam share. There's a lot of beliefs that they have in common. Hence, if I was to have that sign, I don't think many of them would have understood, because they don't think that Islam is an inversion. They think that Muhammad basically just took everything that Jesus said and then tried to change it, make Jesus less important and make himself far more important. So yeah, in their telling, Islam is not really an inversion. It's just Muhammad changed things and rewrote stuff. But yeah, if people knew that Islam was actually an inversion, and that there's lots of lies in Christianity, but if you want to know what the lies are, well, you just need to say what exists in Islam, and well, that's a lie, but or the lies of Christianity. But it's not just a lie; it's like an inversion. But yeah, Christ only being a male is also a type of inversion, because actually Christ can only be female, and yeah, like if you were to go to a planet and become a god, you too would only be female, because you would have evolved to a certain point where you are far more feminine. I think the feminine energy is actually older and wiser, because they're the ones that are best at looking after kids. And I think if you've lived a very very long time, you'd realize that kids are actually probably the most important thing. If you want to spread genes from planet to planet, you need kids to do that. So but yeah, a lot of people have an inverted view on things, but I'm noticing that there was a very anti-BBC movement. I don't know how the BBC feel about this. I mean, technically I think the BBC are trying to grab an audience of people who don't go on the internet much. My mum is 77 or something like that, or was it 67? I think she's in her 60s. No, she's 67, and she she doesn't know how to use the internet that well. She's not very good at all, so she relies on the BBC. A lot of older people rely on the BBC, or a lot of people that don't know much about the media, or don't go on social media a lot. These are the people. So the BBC has a market. I like watching BBC News, but I do it because I want to see like what they're spreading. It's not necessarily I'm watching it because I believe in it or because I'm taking it in. I want to know what they're telling the public. And I think there are a whole crowd of people that do only rely on BBC and stuff. But I feel like it's a different type of market. So maybe BBC are trying to go with this sort of more Islamic market. I know that there's a lot of Islamic people in the country, or a lot of Islamic supporters who generally think that there's nothing wrong with Islam. You just need to respect their different culture and their different way of life. But yeah, I think a lot of these people are ignorant, because they don't really, they don't see why some of their things are actually bad practices. You know, it's one thing to have beliefs, it's another thing to force your beliefs on other people, and a lot of Islamic practices are about forcing women to wear certain things or behave in a certain way because of their youth or age or something like that, or sex, and yeah, there's a lot of things that I think if I would have gone to the other one, that sign might have been more useful, because I would have used it to try and explain to them that, you know, what all the things. If you're anti-racist, well, why would Asian people always prefer Muhammad over Jesus, when technically Muhammad was a far worse person? I mean, technically, isn't that could that be classed as racism, because you're judging a person not by their actions or by what they do, but rather by the color of their skin, or to assume that someone is racist because they are anti-Muslim and they're white? I mean, isn't that a type of racist? I think if I would have gone to that protest, I probably would have had a lot more debates with them, or conversations with them about why what they believe is not the truth. The crowd, the English crowd, didn't really look like they really wanted. Well, most of, not all of them, half of them looked like they just wanted to maybe drink, show support for the nation, and wave the flag, but they didn't. A lot of them didn't seem like they wanted an insightful conversation about why Islam is wrong. It was. They had like bullet points of most people seem to have like bullet points of what they didn't like, and they were there for the bullet point reasons. But yes, it was strange though, because my back was so bad at the end. But I was cycling home, and it was strange because as soon as I sat on the bike, my back curved in a certain way that it suddenly like was so much easier to cycle than it was to walk. I had no problem cycling, but I couldn't walk. But I'm worried about my health, because I don't feel healthy or well at all. But yeah, the fact that I was able to stand up all day probably is a sign that I'm not as bad as I think I am, or something. But I don't know what else to say. There was a video I watched about the Qatar. Qatar? I don't even know. Qatar. It sounds like quack quack, or at least that's what I think when I hear the word. I don't know what to make of it, because I don't know if he's on my side or not. But it is strange how so many people think that Israel is starving Gaza, when really, you know, Gaza is not their responsibility, because they have rejected Israel. You know, if you've got a whole bunch of people that don't want Israel to exist, you know, it's reminding me of England. You know, there's a whole bunch of people in England that don't want British flags to wave around, and if you don't want the British flag to wave around, that's almost a bit like saying you don't want England to exist, and you just think that the world should just be a multicultural world for everyone, and you don't think that England should exist. And you know, if these pockets of people have said we don't want Israel to exist, we're going to continuously say it's Palestine, and deny that your land exists, you know, of course, if they're being hostile to you, that you're going to be hostile to them. And then that's what's happened to Gaza and the West Bank. They've been cut off. They've said, we don't want these people, we don't want to look after these people have got their own land, but they haven't actually, you know, they haven't called it Palestine yet, because they need to form a proper government and prove that they can look after themselves. So, you know, Israel is not responsible for looking after them if these people have rejected Israel's help and don't want it, and if they've been burning down anything that was Jewish when the Jewish people left these areas. You know, you can't say that. But then again, and that's what the leader of the Qatar was saying. But then again, maybe he was just saying it because that's what the people in his country are saying, and he's looking like he's trying to support those people, you know. I can't take sides when it comes to the government, because I don't necessarily know or believe that I know what they're doing. You know, I wouldn't want to be seen to be anti Islamic if I feel these people are going to attack and kill me. Now, if the English government is feeling that same way, you know, they want to turn against Islam, but they don't want to be open about it because they don't want to piss off the 6 million Muslims that might be living in England, and also the 10 million people that aren't Muslim but support Islam and don't see anything wrong with it. You know, there's a lot of blind, ignorant people here, and if you start saying things against them, you know, you might find that they start turning on you. And if the government is only a small group of people and the population is massive, you know, they're all going to pick on the government. And you know, but if the government though was gaslighting the public, making it look like they're putting the foreigners first, you know, this would encourage the public to rise up, and that's kind of what the public needs to do for there to be a real change, a real movement. You know, the Islamic people that want to cause problems aren't going to be able to do it if the majority of the population is all saying the same thing, because the population is going to be a much larger crowd. And yes, don't know what else to say. But yes, I don't know. I'm hoping that the rapture is going to happen this month. That September 23rd is a likely day. I don't know if anything's going to happen. I'm hoping it is. If nothing happens by October 3rd or 4th, then I'm going to assume that nothing's going to happen this year. That pains me, but the idea that I'm getting PIP is actually a bit of a, like, I feel like I can manage so long as I'm getting some sort of help financially, because I can't work, and yeah, I feel really, really tired. I don't know why I keep going into this. I keep going into these, like, just spells where I just kind of want to lie down and just pretend to be Sleeping Beauty or something. I don't know why I'm getting these desires, but it's annoying.